Right now, as you're listening to this, someone is manipulating your mind. Your boss, your partner, that friend who always gets their way, even the cashier at your local store. They're using psychological tricks so subtle, so embedded in everyday conversation that you don't even realize it's happening. But here's the terrifying truth. By the end of today, you'll have been psychologically manipulated at least 7 times, and you'll thank them for it. I'm about to expose the 7 dark psychology tricks that everyone, and I mean everyone, uses on you without you knowing. These aren't techniques from some dusty psychology textbook. These are the real-world manipulation tactics that are being deployed against you right now, in this very moment. And the most dangerous part? The people using these tricks on you probably don't even know they're doing it. They've internalized these manipulation techniques so deeply that they've become automatic responses. But once you understand these 7 tricks, you'll never be the same person again. You'll start seeing the puppet strings everywhere, in every conversation, every advertisement, every interaction. And most importantly, you'll learn how to cut those strings forever. But I need to warn you, this knowledge comes with a price. Once you see how the manipulation game really works, you can't unsee it. You'll realize that most of your decisions aren't really your decisions at all. Are you ready for that level of awareness? If you're still listening, then you've already made your choice. Let's dive into the dark psychology playbook that's been used against you your entire life. Number 1, the commitment trap. The first trick is so insidious that it's literally reshaping your identity without you knowing it. It's called the commitment trap, and it's based on a fundamental quirk of human psychology. Once we say we'll do something, we feel compelled to follow through, even when it goes against our best interests. Here's how it works in real life. Your colleague asks, "You're good with technology, right?" You nod. "Great, can you help me with this computer issue?" Before you know it, you're the office IT person, fixing everyone's problems for free. Or your friend says, "You're so generous with your time." You smile, feeling good about yourself. Then they ask, "Could you help me move this weekend?" You can't say no now. You've already been labeled as generous. This is the commitment trap in action. First, they get you to agree to a small identity or principle. Then they use that agreement to manipulate your future behavior. It's like signing a psychological contract you didn't know you were signing. The psychological principle behind this is called consistency bias. Our brains are wired to maintain consistency between our stated beliefs and our actions. When someone points out that we're reliable or helpful or logical, they're not complimenting us, they're programming us. Sales professionals use this constantly. "You seem like someone who cares about their family's safety," they'll say. Once you agree, they can sell you anything, from life insurance to security systems. Because now, saying no would mean admitting you don't care about your family's safety. Even more sinister, politicians use this during campaigns. You're the kind of person who wants what's best for the country, right? Once you agree, disagreeing with their policies becomes a threat to your self-image. But here's what they don't want you to know. You can break free from the commitment trap by recognizing it. The moment someone starts with, "You're the kind of person who," or "You believe in fairness, don't you?" that's your red flag. They're not asking about your beliefs. They're installing psychological software to control your future decisions. #2. The scarcity illusion. The second trick preys on your deepest evolutionary fears. It's called the scarcity illusion, and it turns your survival instincts against you. Every day, people are creating artificial urgency to force you into decisions you'll regret. Think about the last time you bought something you didn't really need. I guarantee you, someone used scarcity against you. Only 3 left in stock. Sale ends tomorrow. Limited time offer. These aren't just marketing phrases. They're psychological weapons designed to hijack your decision-making process. But the real manipulation goes much deeper than sales. Your boss uses this when they say, "We need to fill this position quickly or we'll lose the project." Your partner uses it when they say, "If you don't commit now, you might lose me." Your friends use it when they say, "Everyone's going to be there, you'll miss out." The psychological principle is simple. When we perceive something as scarce, our brains interpret it as more valuable. This is called loss aversion, and it's hardwired into our DNA. Our ancestors who grabbed scarce resources survived. Those who hesitated starved. But here's the manipulation. In the modern world, true scarcity is rare. Most limited-time offers come back next month. Most urgent deadlines are artificial. Most once-in-a-lifetime, totally ROA. Opportunities happen multiple times. Dating apps exploit this perfectly. They show you someone attractive, then immediately suggest that hundreds of other people are also interested. Suddenly, you're not just choosing whether you like someone, you're competing for a scarce resource. Social media platforms use fear of missing out to keep you scrolling. Your friends are having experiences without you. This trend is happening now. Don't get left behind. They've turned social connection itself into a scarce commodity. Here's how to defend yourself. Whenever someone creates urgency, ask yourself, what would happen if I waited? Usually, the answer is nothing. Real opportunities don't disappear overnight. Real value doesn't need artificial deadlines. When someone rushes you, they're usually trying to prevent you from thinking clearly. Number 3, the authority mirage. The third trick is perhaps the most dangerous because it exploits our deepest social programming. It's called the authority mirage, and it's why people in uniforms, titles, or expensive suits can convince you. But here's what they don't tell you. Most authority is fake. That expert on TV might have a degree in something completely unrelated. That confident CEO might be making it up as they go along. That doctor prescribing medication might be getting paid by pharmaceutical companies. The psychological principle is called authority bias. We automatically assume that people in positions of power or expertise are more credible, even when they're talking about subjects outside their expertise. Watch how people use false authority signals, expensive clothes to seem successful, technical jargon to sound intelligent, confident body language to appear knowledgeable. Your mechanic uses this when he points to engine parts you can't see and explains problems you can't understand. Influencers and self-help gurus are masters of this. They rent expensive cars, wear designer clothes, and speak with absolute certainty about topics they learned last week. They're not successful because they're wise. They appear wise because they look successful. Even more insidious, people use borrowed authority. Studies show, experts say, research proves, but they never tell you which studies, which experts, or what research. They're using the authority of science without actually doing science. Politicians do this constantly. They surround themselves with flags, podiums, and official-looking settings. They're not more credible because of their policies. They seem credible because of their props. Here's the antidote. Question everything. Real experts can explain complex ideas simply. Real authority doesn't need to be performed. It demonstrates itself through results. When someone relies on titles, credentials, or intimidation instead of logic and evidence, they're using the authority mirage against you. Remember, just because someone is an expert in one area doesn't make them an expert in everything. Just because someone is confident doesn't mean they're correct. Just because someone has power doesn't mean they have wisdom. Number 4, the reciprocity trap. The fourth trick turns your own kindness into a weapon against you. It's called the reciprocity trap, and it's why that free sample at the grocery store always leads to a purchase, even when you didn't want the product. Human beings are hardwired for reciprocity. When someone does something for us, we feel psychological pleasure to return the favor. This isn't just politeness. It's a deep evolutionary program that kept our ancestors alive in tribal societies. But in the modern world, people exploit this programming ruthlessly. They give you small favors to create psychological debt, then cash in that debt for much larger requests. Here's how it works. Your neighbor helps you carry groceries one day. A week later, they ask if you can watch their house while they're on vacation for 2 weeks. You feel obligated to say yes, even though watching groceries for 5 minutes doesn't equal house sitting for 14 days. Salespeople master this technique. They offer you coffee, spend time explaining products, maybe even give you a small discount. Now you feel guilty walking away without buying something. They've created artificial indebtedness. Your boss uses this when they occasionally buy lunch for the team, then expects everyone to work late without complaint. Politicians use it when they promise small benefits, then expect your vote on much larger issues. But the most sinister version is emotional reciprocity. Someone shares personal information with you, creating artificial intimacy. Then they use that closeness to manipulate your decisions. After everything I've shared with you, I thought you'd understand. Online, this becomes even more sophisticated. Free content, free trials, free consultations. These aren't gifts. They're psychological investments designed to create debt in your mind. Here's what you need to understand. True gifts have no strings attached. If someone gives you something and then expects something in return, it wasn't a gift. It was a transaction you didn't agree to. The defense against the reciprocity trap is simple but difficult. Learn to receive without feeling obligated. Someone doing something nice for you doesn't automatically create debt. You can be grateful without being indebted. And remember, reciprocity should be proportional and voluntary. A small favor doesn't obligate you to a large commitment. Someone helping you once doesn't give them lifetime access to your resources. Number 5, the social proof deception. The fifth trick turns your need to belong into a tool for manipulation. It's called social proof deception, and it's happening every time someone tells you everyone else is doing it. Humans are social creatures. We look to others to understand what's normal, what's acceptable, what's safe. This instinct kept our ancestors alive. Following the group usually meant survival. But in today's world, this instinct makes you incredibly easy to manipulate. Here's the dark secret. Most social proof is manufactured. Those customer testimonials, often fake. Those other people viewing this item, sometimes automated. Those crowded restaurants with lines outside, sometimes they pay people to create artificial demand. But the manipulation goes deeper than fake reviews. People use social proof to pressure you into conformity in every area of your life. Your family uses this. All your cousins are married with children. Your workplace uses this. Everyone else is okay with working weekends. Your social circle uses this. We all think you should break up with H. They're not giving you information. They're creating psychological pressure to conform to what they claim is normal. The psychological principle is called social proof bias or herd mentality. When we're uncertain about what to do, we look at what others are doing and assume it's correct. Marketers, politicians, and manipulators know this and exploit it relentlessly. Social media has weaponized this instinct. Likes, shares, follower counts. These aren't measures of quality or truth. They're artificial social proof designed to influence your behavior. You see a post with thousands of likes and assume it must be valuable, even if the content is meaningless. But here's the most disturbing part. People create false social proof by manipulating statistics. 9 out of 10 people choose, but they don't tell you they only asked 10 people, or they kept asking until they got the answer they wanted. Politicians use this constantly. The American people want, the majority believes, but they're often referencing polls with leading questions or tiny sample sizes. The antidote to social proof deception is independent thinking. Just because something is popular doesn't make it right. Just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean you should do it too. Ask yourself, are you making this decision because it's right for you or because others are doing it? Are you following genuine evidence or manufactured consensus? Remember, the crowd is often wrong. History is full of examples where the majority believed things that were completely false. Your job isn't to fit in, it's to think for yourself. Number 6, the emotional hijack. 6th trick bypasses your rational mind entirely. It's called the emotional hijack, and it's why you make decisions when you're angry, scared, or excited that you regret when you calm down. Every day, people deliberately trigger your emotions to control your behavior. They make you angry at their enemies, afraid of their competitors, excited about their products. Once your emotions are engaged, your logical thinking shuts down. This isn't accidental. There's a biological reason why emotional manipulation works so well. When you experience strong emotions, your brain's amygdala takes control from your prefrontal cortex. The emotional brain is fast, but irrational. The logical brain is slow but accurate. Manipulators know that if they can trigger your emotions strongly enough, they can get you to act before your rational mind kicks back in. News media masters this technique. They don't just report events, they trigger emotional responses to those events. Fear, anger, outrage, excitement. These emotions keep you watching, clicking, and sharing. An informed population might turn off the TV. Advertisers use this constantly. They don't sell products. They sell emotional states. Buy this car to feel powerful. Use this perfume to feel attractive. Drink this soda to feel young and energetic. Your boss uses this when they create artificial crises to make you work harder. Your partner uses this when they pick fights before important discussions. Your friends use this when they use guilt, shame, or fear of missing out to control your social choices. But the most sophisticated version is what psychologists call emotional contagion. People deliberately put themselves in emotional states, anger, enthusiasm, sadness, because they know emotions spread from person to person unconsciously. Here's what you need to know. Almost every important decision you make while experiencing strong emotions will be wrong. Your emotional brain is designed for immediate survival responses, not complex modern decisions. When you feel a strong emotional reaction, especially if someone is asking you to make a decision, stop. Wait. Let the emotion pass before you choose. Ask yourself, am I making this decision, or is my emotion making this decision? Am I responding to facts, or am I responding to how someone made me feel about those facts? Remember, people who need to manipulate your emotions to get your agreement probably don't have logic on their side. The truth doesn't need emotional packaging. Number 7, the identity theft. The seventh and most dangerous trick doesn't just influence your decisions, it rewrites who you think you are. It's called identity theft, and it's how people convince you that their goals are your goals, their values are your values, their dreams are your dreams. This is the ultimate manipulation because once someone controls your identity, they control everything. You'll defend their interests as if they were your own interests. You'll sacrifice for their success as if it were your success. Here's how it works. They start by telling you what kind of person you are. You're a team player. You're a perfectionist. You're a natural leader. These aren't observations. They're installations, programming your self-image. Once they've established your identity, they use it to control your behavior. A team player wouldn't leave early. A perfectionist would never accept this quality. A natural leader would step up in this situation. Corporations use this masterfully. They don't just want employees. They want people who identify as company family. Once you see yourself as family, you'll accept lower pay, longer hours, and worse treatment because family makes sacrifices. Political movements use this constantly. They don't just want your vote. They want you to identify as a Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. Once that identity is installed, you'll defend the party even when it acts against your interests. Religious and spiritual communities do this too. They don't just want followers. They want people who identify as believers, seekers, enlightened beings. Once you adopt that identity, questioning the group becomes questioning yourself. Even relationships use this. Toxic partners don't just want compliance. They want you to see yourself through their eyes. You're too sensitive. You're not good with money. You're lucky to have me. They're not just criticizing your behavior, they're rewriting your self-concept. But here's the most insidious part. Once your identity is hijacked, you'll police yourself. You don't need external pressure anymore because the pressure comes from inside. You've internalized their control system. The defense against identity theft is radical self-awareness. Your identity is not what others tell you it is. Your identity is not even what you think it is. Your identity is fluid, complex, and ultimately defined by your choices, not your labels. When someone tells you what kind of person you are, ask yourself, are they describing me or are they programming me? Are they recognizing my authentic self, or are they creating a useful self? Remember, you are not your job, your political party, your family role, or your social group. You are the awareness that observes all of these rules. And that awareness cannot be manipulated, only distracted. Closing and call to action. Now you know the 7 dark psychology tricks that everyone uses on you without you knowing. The commitment trap, the scarcity illusion, the authority mirage, the reciprocity trap, social proof deception, the emotional hijack, and identity theft. But knowledge alone isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. Starting right now, you're going to see these tricks everywhere, in every advertisement, every conversation, every social interaction. You'll realize how often you've been manipulated, how many decisions weren't really your decisions, and that realization might make you angry. Good. That anger means you're waking up. But remember, most people using these tricks aren't evil masterminds. They're unconscious manipulators who learn these techniques through trial and error. They use them because they work, not because they understand the psychology behind them. Your job isn't to become angry at everyone who's ever influenced you. Your job is to become conscious of influence itself. Here's what I want you to do after this audiobook ends. First, practice the pause. When someone asks you to make a decision, especially if they create urgency or use any of these 7 tricks, stop. Breathe. Ask yourself which trick they're using and why. Second, start questioning your own motivations. When you want to buy something, believe something, or do something, ask yourself, is this desire coming from me, or was it planted by someone else? Third, protect your identity. Don't let others define who you are, what you value, or what you should want. Your authentic self is your most valuable possession. Don't let anyone else write that story. And here's a bonus insight. Once you understand these tricks, you'll have a choice. You can use them ethically to improve your own life, to motivate yourself, to build better relationships, to achieve your goals. Or you can use them unethically to manipulate others. That choice will define what kind of person you become. Choose wisely. The game of influence never stops. But now you know the rules. Now you can play consciously instead of being played unconsciously. Welcome to your psychological freedom. Use it responsibly. This is the Book Nook, and remember, knowledge is only power when you apply it. Until next time, stay conscious, stay aware, and never let anyone else control your mind.